morning.
Good morning.
Um, we heard from someone who shall remain nameless that she's tired of missing our incredibly interesting good morning and how are yous. So we thought we'd start with a little music. You might not have been able to hear it. You know, everything we do is a work in progress. And when you don't start thinking about it until about 8:23, it throws a little wrench into things. But that's music from Quinn called Love Songs. So we might try to figure out how we can incorporate that in and actually make that work. So, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you too. Tuesdays and Thursdays we don't go to spin, and it's just such a much more lovely, humane way to start the day. I'm not anti-spin, and I really love the women who instructed spin. And there's a guy too, but we don't very often take his class. I like him a lot too, but I'm not anti-spin. I'm just kind of anti-exercise. But,
At 6:30 in the morning.
Or kind of ever. I'm not really an exerciser. I'm just active, whatever. So today we are, first I have to show you my new mug. Let me let the camera sort of get a glimpse of it. I feel like it's so hard for the camera to ever focus on things. There we go. This is a Kelly Sinner mug. Kelly Sinner's a professor at MSUM. I bought this yesterday at Dakota Fine Art. Great gallery in Fargo-Moorhead, right next to Nicole's Fine Pastry. So you can go buy some art, go have some pastry. It's a pretty lovely little spot right on historic 8th Street. And we're back out in the sunroom today because we bought a internet booster. So we are going to see if that makes any difference. So today we're talking about this idea kind of who's driving. Because I have a question for you all. Have you ever been in the passenger seat of a European driver? We'll go with an English driver. I know you're not English, but you grew up driving in England. Have you ever been in the passenger seat of that? Because if this is the car in front of you, here's how they drive. And they get this close. And if you're like me...
Sensibly, and you don't drive on your brakes, you just get close to them.
If you're like me, it puts you in a panic at every single second because you're sure that they're going to end up in the back seat of the car in front of you. I have realized that part of it, I think, is in America, we have a lot of space. So we can leave a lot of space between cars, between houses, between distance. We got a lot of distance. And your driving made a little more sense to me when we went to England, and I realized that you got to leave, it's a small space. So that's the funny backstory. But actually, the point of talking about today is that really for the majority of the beginning of our relationship, I did most of the driving.
You did.
In part because I'm kind of control-y like that.
And the first car I had when we met was, well, my mother-in-law called it the goat. Most people called it the death trap.
Yeah, it wasn't a great car.
87 Chevy Blazer. It is what it was.
It is what it was. It was what it is, however you want to talk about it. But I did most of the driving because, while I never felt like you were driving drunk, certainly never, ever, ever felt that. Okay, except once, but that's a different story. I never actually felt super safe driving with you, so I just did all the driving. And let me give you a perfect example. Now, when Maz was driving, he never fell asleep in the car or anything like that. But one time we went to Door County, probably 6 years ago, in Wisconsin. It's a 10-hour drive. We got in the car, I was driving. Maz Mary literally slept from about the end of our street until we got to Door County. He slept for 10 hours. I made that entire drive by myself. I listened to 10 episodes of On Being with Krista Tippett. It was hands down the single most zen experience of my entire life because, she's very calm and her questions are very measured and everything is meditative. So on one hand, it was great, and on the other hand, I really resented that I basically drove myself to Door County when it was supposed to be kind of a romantic weekend for us. So, who does most of the driving now, Dr. Mary?
I do.
And what do I do? And don't say I complain about the music, because that's not the theme of today. That is also a fair and factual
No,
point.
when we
but-
go anywhere new or go anywhere, it works out great for us now that I'm engaged. Is I drive, Dana navigates, and it works.
And by navigates, that means I type it into my phone's map system and then repeat what the map says. So in 350 feet, turn left. I say, Mazzy, turn left. I do that.
She does.
I'm the Sigourney Weaver of Galaxy Quest now that we drive. And if you don't know that reference, I encourage you to immediately, after this is over, go rent Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
Because it's delightful.
It is.
But there is a new level of shared ownership between us now in the journey.
There
in
is.
the literal journey.
Because we listen to podcasts. We do listen to some choice tunes from the driver. But we also communicate. We talk to each other, and it's fantastic. I'm looking forward to. We're going to spend the weekend in Minneapolis, the three of us, with our mother-in-law and her person Bob, because now Lily is allowed to come.
Lily gets to come visit Grandma. It's very
Yeah.
exciting. Lily's our dog, in case you don't know who Lily is.
I'm looking forward to the trip. It's going to be fun. Your brother's going to be there, one of your brothers, and his 3 children. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so
But the point is, I'm looking forward to the drive there and back, because we're going to have fun. We'll probably listen to some podcasts, just talk.
and I think this example is a perfect carrot. We keep talking about these little nuggets, these little carrots. But car time when Maz was drinking used to be pretty unpleasant, because if he was awake, we didn't really have that much to say to each other, or we would fight about things, or he would be fixated on, we got to get to a liquor store as soon as we get there so I can buy my travel whiskey. And it just often wasn't a very enjoyable experience. And now, even though I make fun of the music and I do get tired of Midjour and
How?
I, whatever. I do get a little weary of Maz's insistence on that, but we are sharing the work, if you will,
Yeah, we do.
of travel. You drive, I navigate, I find the fun places for us to stop and eat if we do that.
You're great at that. You always look it up on the phone on the call.
Yeah, so now it's a partnership, and I think the takeaway is, how can you make something as literal as a car trip, whether that's something in town or something out of town? How can you use that as an example of a real partnership, which is what is likely missing from your relationship? And we keep talking about it in all these different ways, but the partnership is the missing piece. And I'm assuming, if you're like I am, that you entered into this partnership because you found a kinship, you found somebody you wanted to navigate through life
Yeah.
with.
It's absolutely true. I mean, if journeys are never fun on your own. I mean, people say, "Oh, I love travelling on my own." Yeah, maybe you do, but it is more fun doing it with someone else. Even the 2 weeks we spent driving around Ireland was fantastic. Well, it was frightening.
It was.
But it was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, so maybe this is an opportunity this weekend for you and your person to, take a 20-minute car ride. And if they're sober enough to drive, hand your person the keys and invite them to drive and tell them that you'll navigate, and try not to be judgy about it. That's a thing we keep talking about. Super hard, but try. And then try to appreciate this time together. Anything else, Dr. Mary?
No, I just to reiterate that if you can get even if it's just a 20-minute journey Dana talked about, even if you just drove to a hardware store or something, and obviously bring a mask with you. Starting a conversation over something new, over something you haven't talked about before, it's a nice little step. It's all little steps you can take. Engagement, and if you are the person suffering from the addiction, get interested in something again. That's the key. If you really are thinking about that, you need to have a change in your life, find something you're interested in, even if it is just talking on a drive. It helps.
And hopefully it's something you can be interested in together. Okay, that's it for today. Have an excellent Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow morning.
Bye.
Bye.